Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to another episode of Get Into It with Gila. I'm Gila Glassberg, and today I have Zahava List. Hi, Zahava.
Hi, Gila. It's
Thank
great to
you
be
for coming
back.
on. Yeah, I was gonna say this is your second time on, and I'm so excited to have you on. So just reintroduce yourself, just for
Okay.
listeners who might not know who you are, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, so I'm Zahava List, and I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. And I started an organization 6.5 years ago. It's called Chazkeinu, and it's a mental health peer support organization, really a network for Jewish women all over internationally, for people to come out and really find other people who are like-minded, who understand the struggle. I was on before and I told my story. I myself was diagnosed 17 plus years ago with bipolar. And it's been a constant, battle every day, and just knowing that I have, besides my professional, having the peer support has made such an impact in my life.
Wow,
So, yeah.
that is amazing. I'm still blown away. Still blown away. So tell us a little bit about what Chazkeinu does, like let's say over the course of a year. Like what type of events do you have? I know you just had this event, but and I want to talk about it, but besides for the event that just took place, what does the annual year look like?
So this past year in Chazkeinu, I could just take year by year, but this year we've had like hundreds of phone support calls. It's from a free conference call, where we have speakers, ranging from personal stories from our actual members to psychiatrists, therapists, community leaders, influencers. And the phone meetings have been really a safe haven for people. And obviously confidentiality is huge, piece in that. We also have had, since COVID, we've had hundreds of Zoom events, where we do also, twice a week phone and now twice a week Zooms. The Zooms can also range from speakers and presenters to also just fun, evenings out, on Zoom in your comfort of your own home, getting art and dance and concerts and, you name it, like,
Wow.
demos and actual Chazkeinu sisters like have used their own, arts, and talents to help each of us, whether it was like, do it yourself type of activities. So the phones and Zooms have been consistently 4 times a week. We also have daily chizuk, inspirational emails that we send out, almost like mini newsletters. And we send that out almost every single day. Somebody can get like what they call it a hug in their inbox.
Hmm.
And it's like really just filled with tons of affirmations, fun, different, like almost like columns of the week. We have like moments of inspiration that people share with each other, coping strategies, question of the week, fun facts. We have people write, different class canisters write their own, columns every week, which are amazing. And it's really like people share their poems, their songs, and resources. And it's just a great, great way for people to feel connected. And I have people tell me, like, I'm sitting every morning with my cup of coffee, looking at the Chazkeinu emails. And,
Wow.
if for some reason we don't have an email, people are like, what's going on? Where's Chazkeinu email? So, we've sent hundreds of those. And we also have had live events in all different places, including Lakewood, Brooklyn. We've had, in Baltimore. We've had, really in Israel. They
Wow.
have membership there, and just in a lot of like even unofficial gatherings, in different places. The events have brought people, given people the courage to come out and be together in person. There's nothing like a face-to-face, connection. And it's just evenings to just enjoy each other, have fun. We had a concert here in Baltimore that some women in the community put together for us. We've had, like acrylic, paint pouring nights and like just really great activities to get together. And we also had a Shabbaton this year, with over 100 attendees, just
Wow.
coming together and spending an entire Shabbos in Camp Nagila. And it was just amazing. Like
Mm.
the energy, the connection. We have women started, from 18 to women in their 60s, 70s, like all coming together, and everywhere in between, different religious backgrounds, different diagnoses, different personalities. And everyone's like, just there's this non-judgmental, loving and accepting environment. And it's so therapeutic for people to have this Shabbos. We really wine and dine, and we make it exciting, we make it fun, and people look forward to it all year. We've also have our Empower line that we have open twice a week, where people could talk one-on-one with a professional for non-emergency questions. We've had so many, an influx of so many members joining our outreach list where people can connect with each other. We've had more partners of two people who are going through something similar, connecting with each other. We have just, you name it, like any type of support, any way that we could connect women together. This is what Chazkeinu is about.
That's amazing. It's really like I'm blown away. Like I have goosebumps, So let me ask you a question. You started it and you're in charge. Do you have any staff members? Are you like a one-man show? Like how on earth do you do all that?
So first of all, I have a clinical director, I have a rabbinic advisor. So I'm always like have like my guidance every step of the way. I do have to give credit. I have two wonderful, amazing women, Naomi Shulman and Tamar Mishkin, who each have their own projects now that are amazing. Tamar has a organization in Chicago called La Briute, and Naomi has written a book called With All I Am. I know you had her on.
Yeah.
And they both really helped me start it. But once, the vision was clear, and, we were growing, very much. And so now I have an amazing like group of women who are volunteering and giving their time. I have, a phone and email, like secretary, kind of intake, who does my intake. I have, a Zoom and meeting, all the phone meeting coordinator, getting all the speakers, like a lot of things have been delegated. Each different community has their own, Chazkeinu sister. We call, we're the Chazkeinu family, we're Chazkeinu sisters. So different women, take over for different events and activities, and people use their talents like all the time. Yeah.
So first of all, does it cost money to join Chazkeinu?
To join Chazkeinu is free membership. We give ask for like a couple $1 admissions when we do live events, but none of our Zooms or phones or anything that we offer, the emails, all that. There's no membership to join Chazkeinu.
And you just need to have a mental health diagnosis in order to join.
Yeah, so you need to be a woman who's 18 and over, who's seeking active treatment and therapy, or with a doctor if needed, and is coming to really, like I say, it's like that missing piece in our healing, which is the peer aspect, and wants to connect and be able to have like mutual give and take of chazkeinu, right? Like the strength that we give each other.
Yeah.
So we know that, it can cost a lot of money just for the care that we can get from professionals, that we want as least as possible for people to have to put out to get our services and to get what we give to them.
Right. So talk to me a little bit about the retreat that just happened last week. When did you think of it? This was the first one, right?
Our first bonus, unbelievable retreat.
I want to hear like everything. Like when did you think about it? How did you get it off the ground? What were there barriers? Like how did that happen?
Okay, good. Yeah. So everything that I was saying this year, like we've done, but we've done more of. But what happened last year when we were making a vision of what the year would be, and I had a brochure that we were putting together. We have a section called a look ahead. Like these are the dreams for the future. And one of the dreams I came up with was called a renewal retreat. We do a Shabbaton, but for the people who can get away during the week and just like recharge, I was thinking like it would be amazing to do it like an after Yontif time where people just like, it's hard to get back to real life, and just to be able to like literally like we charge our phones like and then they're alive again. Like this is what we wanted. But I thought it was like some far off dream to have a 2-day retreat where we can just, have self-care activities and time to really grow in an accepting, loving place, and to have like imagined a place where like people can just, feel like at home, like they're in a home away from home and they're connected and a beautiful environment. And this was like some kind of fairy tale. Like I never thought it would happen. And I have to thank a Chazkeinu sister who, after a Brooklyn event, that they did a candle making event in this past winter, and they were like Zahava, we got to do more things. Like we have to, people want it, and we put out a survey, like just asking people like what types of things that people want to do live, like how often do they want to make the events, what kind of events. And one of the ideas was a retreat, like who would want it, and we got hands down so much feedback about, yes, we would want a retreat. We would want, outdoor activities, we want hikes, we want this, all these different things. So what this woman said to me was like, Zahava, I have an idea of a place. I'm telling you, I think it's going to be amazing. And I'm like, I don't know. Like we're doing a Shabbaton. Like this is a huge undertaking itself. Every year we're growing more and more people, and there's more needs and there's more opportunities in the Shabbaton. Like I can't even think about it. So she didn't give up. A couple months later, again, she said to me, Zahava, she sent me the picture of the place. And she's like, I'm telling you, this is the place for you. And I, again, just like kind of pushed it off. And then our Shabbaton was in May, and having that whole time to be together with people, and people flying in from Eretz Yisrael and England and all over North America, everywhere, in Canada. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's something so special about getting people all together, and started thinking back about this place that she was talking to me. And so I reached out to her again. And the place that she was talking about is in Morristown, New Jersey. It's a huge mansion. It's gorgeous scenery. It's exactly what we wanted. And then I said, like, how are we going to do this? Like, how are we going to come up with this money? The budget we had for the year was, it didn't have it. We didn't have that amount. And
sorry, could I just interrupt you for a second?
Yeah, sure.
People had to pay for the retreat, but that still wouldn't cover the cost.
So yeah, so we subsidize it, greatly. Like that's the only way I can make anything. The Shabbatons and the retreats have to be very affordable. We even like couldn't subsidize it as much as we normally do. But I tried to think like we're missing a nice amount, and like Baruch Hashem, like it came through, and we were able to get some people to sponsor it and give money towards this retreat. And like we had a grant as well, and it was just like such a bonus and I couldn't believe like this was really happening. Like now it was just time to plan it. And speaking of like people helping me, like I had someone in charge of registration, I had someone in charge of the program that we worked in, and I also had someone in charge of food and setup. And the three of them worked so amazingly together with me, like overseeing it. And it was like my vision of creating, one of the visions is also creating a chill house where people can just go to a place where they can just finally feel like they're themselves and enjoy self-care activities and just get away from all the stresses of life. And that was like our mini cocoon that we had was it a week ago? We had it, and we did it from a Monday to a Wednesday, and it was in this beautiful place that my Chazkeinu sister told me about. And it was literally, I told everyone when we got there, I was like, this is like our dream come true. We never thought it was really amazing.
Yeah. So so the three women that helped you are all Chazkeinu sisters, and they're volunteering their time.
Yeah. They really are.
That's amazing.
Yeah, like it's I always say like we're like by the people for the people.
Right.
Like there's no one who understands more than someone who's going through it. And for the people who are actually planning it, to think like, what would I want? What would be meaningful to me? And it was amazing. They were in a good place to do it, and they were ready to be giving back, and they got so much. All of them were like, thank you, Zahava, for giving us this opportunity.
So I know, okay, so it was Monday through Wednesday. I know about Tuesday, but what were the other days?
So we had Monday, it started Monday afternoon and it ended on a Wednesday afternoon. Should we go over like what happened, like what we did and stuff,
Yeah, I
or?
want to know about like I kind of want to know, like, first of all, how you thought of that. Like, was it all your ideas? Did you get, again, was it a survey for the Chazkeinu sisters? Was it just, you said you had this dream of like a chill house. So was it just like, oh, I already knew exactly what I wanted? Like, how did that happen?
So we definitely like brainstormed a lot in terms of like what the best thing, because the list is endless of what can give people a feeling of real self-care, of just like letting loose and enjoying themselves. So I had two people who helped me to really think about like all different ideas of things that we hadn't done before, and things that we can do, and the budget that we had. And we had such a great combination of, in Chazkeinu, we always say in any of these events, it's always like customizable. Everybody can do what they want, when they want, and how they want. But my vision was that people should come out feeling like they're taking care of them. They're having me time, because that's the ripple effect that happens. Because if we're giving people their encouragement and the empathy and the empowerment, then they can now go be the best employee, the best mother, the best wife, the best sibling, the best everything, at daughter,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
whatever position they're in. And so they're not only impacting themselves, they're impacting all the people around us. We know the power of women and how women can be such, pillars of the community, of the world, and everything. So I wanted to like really give people that feeling that like I can do this, I can go, and I could take on the rest of the time. So we wanted a combination of like inspiration, of like tools to take along with you, but also just fun. Like we had a
Mm-hmm.
self-care spa, and also it was led by a Chazkeinu sister doing facials, and a self-care kit that everyone brought home, to have like when, just to help cope. We had like aromatherapy out, and we had our rabbinic advisor, Rabbi Grossberg spoke, Gila spoke on self-compassion. And that was a huge hit with an interview, and also sharing her, really being vulnerable and showing and inviting vulnerability, which was so incredible. We had Matzana from Hope to Recharge podcast. She spoke on
Amazing.
gratitude and mindfulness.
Yeah,
Gila was there for
amazing.
that.
Yeah.
It was incredible. And we also had a Rabbi, Mrs. Steyer, Rabbi Steyer, or Ram Steyer wrote a book called Battle of the Mind. And it's a Torah perspective on mental illness. And he's a good person to get.
I would
And
love, I'm like,
he
I'm already like, where do I get this book?
he's incredible. Him and his wife were there, and they were talking about self-care and like the challenges that people have about around self-care. And then hearing from Rabbi Steyer about like where we see this in the Torah, where do we like how he brought like someone like Reb Tzadok HaKohen, and how he talks about self-care in his Sefer, like, and
Wow.
how that it was just so like so vital, like self-care is a word that goes around a lot, but
Yeah.
like really taking apart, what does it mean to take care of ourselves? What does it mean to the people around us when we take care of ourselves, and all of the different aspects of that. We had a
Yeah.
dance party with Maya and Davis,
Yeah.
and
I wish I could have stayed for that. I really, really.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And the food that we got catering, and
Amazing.
it was like, and the place, wall to wall, gorgeous scenery on top of a mountain. It was like surreal. I remember sitting there and like, I'm like pinching myself, like, is this really happening? Like, is this
Yeah.
really going on? And everybody came with it was a smaller group. I mean, we weren't able to host more than like, we had about altogether over a little over 50 people. um but it was amazing, like all these people, we have to remember, like, it's 6.5 years since I started Chazkeinu, and I'm so grateful that we came to the point where people feel more comfortable in their own selves and in their own illness, that what, like, I can come in front of a group of people and I could say that I have a mental illness, and I could get love for it, I can get acceptance for it.
Mm-hmm.
And the feeling, like people said, like, oh my gosh, Zahava, like, all like my regular life, I feel like I have to pretend, I feel like I have to make everything look like I'm totally fine. Here I could just be me, I could just be
Mm-hmm.
real.
Hmm.
And it was just really, really incredible. And like even just to see like when we did different arts, like we decorated spoon decorating
Yeah,
and
I loved it.
sand art and things like that, like just seeing the art that people just felt like a release. There's a certain
Hmm.
release when you could just get out everything that you're carrying up inside and just like be in a place where it's like, we always have our chill room where we just relax and enjoy each other. We were playing twisted kickles and having fun. Like it was just, I felt like I was in a slumber party with my
Yeah.
friends,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I just love the concept of self-care, especially for like whatever, just like when you get married and you have kids. And even people tell me that all the time. They're like, I can't believe you do those things. Yeah, we are like, we're not just like wives and mothers, although we are, of course, wives and mothers, but we have other talents and things that like charge us and things that make us feel connected to ourselves and our identity. And like that retreat for I only came for that one day, but I was so happy that you like said come for matana. And so I just to share a little bit from my end, like I have this really severe fear of public speaking. Baruch Hashem has gotten better. I have my tools, but there was something. First of all, just like the drive. I tried to have somebody come with me, and I couldn't find anyone to come with me. And the drive, I was like, I'm going to be brave. And the drive by myself was long and windy, and I found it, and I felt like very empowered. And then like just like I was still like a little anxious from the drive, and I'm going to do like this public speaking thing, and I just like walked in, and I was like I was just like calm. Like I walked into the kitchen, everybody's like sitting, schmoozing, decorating spoons. There's gorgeous scenery. I felt like I was just like welcomed with open arms. Like and the coolest thing was like I love Matana and I've heard her speak and she was on my podcast and I just loved how she started by saying like this is what I need, like turn off your phones and my energy, but if you want to leave, leave. Like people don't usually do that. And like it was such an interesting thing for me, that permission, like I got up and I went to get something to eat and I went to get the spoons and decorated it while I was listening, and I walked outside. I like wanted to explore, I was only there for a few hours, and I just felt like when I got up, when it was my turn to get up to speak, even though like for me that's like really hard to like sit through someone else speaking and now I have to speak, and it was just like I felt like I don't really have words to explain it, like just like welcomed, like when I would sit, when I said in my speech, like I'm feeling insecure, like do I look right, like why do people get nervous about public speaking, and they were just like you look great, and I was just like wow, like in any other place you can't be as vulnerable, you know and I just felt like that automatic, like you're explaining, that chill, that sense of release, like that welcomeness, that non-judgmental vibe. And it was like I really, like it's been a week and I just like I still kind of feel it. Like it was really powerful. It was like I don't really have words really.
100%. I was gonna also say that like we set up Chazkeinu and very much about sharing with people what resonated with us by what they said, or like if someone's sharing their personal story, we'll have set aside time for people to talk about, modeled by the 12-step version of like
Mm.
just sharing like what impact it made to hear somebody. So like I feel like the muscle of complimenting people, giving people feedback is like so like it's our hallmark that when we have someone like you, Gila, who speaks and was amazing, like you're not going to just like hear them and just be like, like goodbye. Like we're going to tell you how amazing it is because it's really coming from such a real, sincere place. And I was just talking to someone about this, like how compliments like keep the world going around. Like there's not a single person who's whatever they're involved with, whatever they're doing, they're not successful unless they're feeling like they're getting feedback, that people are liking what they're doing, or that they're acknowledging that they're good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's what one of the things that people walk away feeling like, wow, like some people, what I do matters,
Mm-hmm.
that I care. And like because mental illness comes along with so much like judgment and so much stigma, like for people to be in an atmosphere where like you're unconditionally accepted, like just by being who you are, and then people want to be who they are, who they
That's
really
so
are
true.
inside.
That's really beautifully said, and that's 100% true. And it's true, by the way, like when you're around somebody who's like very has like that non-judgmental like aura energy, like you just kind of feel like safe to share and open. And then when you're around someone who's like whatever, just like for whatever reason, more like judgmental or giving you weird looks, you're just like feeling like itchy, like uncomfortable, you know? And like it was just such a comfortable, yeah, and the food was amazing. I didn't want to leave. I had to leave, but the food was amazing. I like there were so many details. I know that sounds like a funny thing, but like it's a when I was it's like a joke that I have with my husband, like and I always when we're at a restaurant, I always like rip up the napkin or whatever. Like I need to be busy with my hands. And like when Matana was speaking and I was able to get up and get something to like do and it wasn't weird.
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
just like, this is so like this is it. Like just that like acceptance piece. And like I spoke about that a little bit in my speech, but just as like a Jewish nation, you know, like we're all about like loving every Jew and like I really felt like that. I really felt like that. And it accomplished what you set out to accomplish and probably like 100-fold, you know?
It's really, I think that it's just so important for people to like so much of it. There's so much about like types. Like, is she, does she have the same religious background? Is she the same age as me? Is she, do we have similar lifestyle? Like, people are very much into connecting with what their type is. And what I loved seeing was like, a 20-year-old sitting with like, a 40-year-old, and the two of them were just like finding a common bond. Because, when you take away all the outer things that just goes aside, then like the real essence of the person is so genuine and it's so real. And that I feel like what you said, it's like a soul. Like when you're soulfully connected, all of those differences just fall to the wayside. And then I felt like, the feedback that I'm getting is just it's incredible. People feel like they can now take on whatever they're about to do. There was someone who said that like I got to the retreat and I was so tense, so many stresses going on in my life, and I felt like, how am I going to do this? Like, how am I going to go through a whole 2 days of like, when I'm in this space? And she's like, now, as she was leaving, she's like, now, Zahava, I have the tools to continue. Like, I can now go and take on what it's not. Doesn't mean my life is going to be perfect now. It means like I have the skills to do it. And I was just telling you, Gila, that a therapist told me that her client came to her and told her about a situation that she was dealing with and how she dealt with it. And she's like, that's amazing. Like, what gave you that courage? What gave you that ability to like handle that so well? And she's like, because of the Chazkeinu retreat. And
Yeah.
I feel like just knowing that, like, that people feel a stronger desire to um just to keep going. Like every day it's a struggle sometimes, just to get out of bed, but to someone to say like, I now can keep going. I now could take the next step. It's a huge thing.
It's amazing. It's amazing. What was some of the other like what was some of the other feedback that like maybe you weren't expecting or if you're able to share?
Yeah, I think also, and watching some people like get like very real, like they say how like during their lives, like they're dissociating, they're kind of working on autopilot. And here they were able to just like sit and feel. And it's hard. Like I could say myself, my whole illness of being psychosis is like just running away from life. And it's
Hmm.
being able to sit and be in a safe space to kind of process. We always have therapists there with us, licensed therapists, just to give us safe feeling. We had two different therapists take turns being with us throughout the whole time. So we had that opportunity to just, just to be real, to be in a safe space, to be vulnerable, to be real. And I heard a lot of that. I also heard that people just enjoyed like getting served, like having a
Yeah.
whole table full of
Yeah.
yummy, assorted foods. People like that a lot. A lot of people were just felt like up until then they weren't able to say out loud, like, I have a mental illness or
Hmm.
I'm struggling. And here they can say it and they could feel like I'm not the only one, and a lot of people said I was not expecting it to be this great. Like,
Right.
people that, okay, it's a getaway, but like I think it was exceeded people's expectations. And yeah, I just like it, you never know what's gonna happen. And I'm just like so grateful that everything just went so smoothly. And we had such a what I found for myself, like in organizing the whole thing, how I appreciated so much how people were so like they just looked at the good. They noticed all the good things and they were appreciative of everything. And when someone takes care of you, even if like, one of the 5 love languages I always love is the acts of service, right? So
Hmm.
it's like when someone does something that I could be doing myself, but they're doing it for me, like that's
Yeah.
really a sign of love. And that's what we wanted to do.
Yeah, I'm just thinking over like the Tuesday of like all the arts and crafts and then like the speakers and like really giving like inspiration and like a positive energy, then really good food all throughout the day and then like the dance party like and then I heard there was yoga that day, just like the whole
Yeah,
combination of like body and soul was
yes,
really, it's just
totally.
like what's better than that, like that
Right,
day. It's like
exactly.
you can't go wrong.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it was
So
really something special.
tell if you could tell me, I guess, like tell me about the fundraiser. Tell me, do you want to talk about specifically how much funds you need? Do you want to talk about like what's most helpful? How do you usually reach people? I mean, this is such an important organization and I want to post it like tonight or tomorrow. And I think I did that last time. I don't remember, but I want people to donate because this is, I always say, like, I talk about this a lot on my podcast, like your relationship with food, your relationship with money, but money is really like using like your energy for something that's important to you, you know, what you're aligned. It's not just like money, money isn't just money. Money's like so much more. So, so when we were talking about this, when after I spoke and after I left and we were still in touch, I was like, I really want to spread the message. I really want people to donate because look what you're doing for like the Jewish people, like this, like people need this. This is like what did you say? Like I don't remember exactly what you said, but this is like keeping people afloat. This is like, like
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. I feel like it really is a life-saving organization because even if somebody's physically alive and you're looking at them, but if they're emotionally not there, like it's not a life to live. But when Chazkeinu can give a person real strength to keep going and the like just that second lease on life and like saying that yes, even with my struggles, I can make meaning to my struggles. My struggles can inspire another person. I can be there to empathize with them. They can empathize with me. I don't have to do this alone. Like this type of thing, peer support is something that is so, so vital that I have therapists say to me, like, Zahava, thank you. Thank you for doing this because we can only see our clients so much, but you are continuously there for them every single day. And people don't have to feel like they're alone. So Chazkeinu is doing our annual fundraiser. When I got into this, I didn't think about money. Like it was
right.
like my dream was ahead. But unfortunately, we're living in a world that we're bound by the money, and I just feel like supporting Chazkeinu. We have now our campaign is officially starting November 23rd to the 30th. We're raising $200,000, which is double what we did last year. But
Wow.
the influx of women that we're getting, like every week, there's at least a hand to 10, like a lot of people coming every single day. There's people who
Wow.
are reaching out to Chazkeinu, whether we open it up to also family members. So we have mothers and we have daughters and we have wives. And we're giving this so much support to them. And we want funds. We want to be able to do everything we did this year and more.
Hmm.
So more live events. We want to do again another Shabbaton and a retreat. We want to be able to do, the meetings that we do, and the hotline is also going to turn into like an inspiration line where we're going to take everything in our email and put it onto a hotline. So if someone doesn't have internet access, because we cater to everyone, or just wants to fall asleep listening to somebody else's poem or song, or hearing about a resource, or listening to what the question of the week is and the answers. And we want to be able to do that. I want to be able to hire a staff to help me. So my hands are not in everything all the time, and just everything. And we also really want to create chill houses. That's like our ultimate dream, to have this like that we had in different places. I really want to build up more branches throughout. There's a need, there's a want, but again, the resources need to be there. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much that can be done to help the women who are going through this, and really just to be there. Like like I think that really, because this is reaching out to everyone, there's not one person that doesn't struggle. Like everyone has a struggle. And if we just think about other people who are going through something and just feel so alone. And here they have a chance to be part of a family, a part of a network that really is there for them in every aspect. Like, of course, we want to be able to give to them. So the theme of the campaign is called Gift to the World campaign. And the gifts that we give in Chazkeinu is, like I said before, the gift of, and the gifts of encouragement. You know, someone telling you, you know, you got this, you did it before, you can do this again. You know, I talk to people all the time before, before they go into a doctor's office, like just giving them like empowerment to that you can do this and you got this. And the empathy of like hearing somebody say, me too. I get
Mm-hmm.
it. I understand you. You're not alone. And it's very different than someone just saying, oh, that must be so hard. It's like, no, I know. I really am with you in this.
Mm-hmm.
And that leads to real empowerment where someone's like, okay, I have the encouragement, I have the empathy, and now I can go and I could give myself, which I am a gift to the world. Every single person is a gift to the world. And we are gifting people with the ability to be their true essence of a gift. And so that's what we really hope to get, like, you know, at least and hopefully surpass our goal. But you know, the funds are needed, and you know, everything is accounted for. Everything goes straight to helping these women, and we have a platform through Raise It. It's raise RAYZE.IT/Chazkeinu. And we're trying to get as many raisers as possible. So even let's say you can't yourself give very much or at all, then to become a raiser, you know, to
Mm-hmm.
just any goal, even if your goal is you know, to raise $200 or $50 or $10. There's opportunities. We give prizes to our raisers actually, and we also have prizes for somebody wwho recruits a raiser. And we're
Oh.
opening it to everyone, to the every community. Like, you don't
Mm-hmm.
have to be in Chazkeinu to be a raiser. And there's also different sponsorship opportunities on the site to sponsor different things. And we're really hoping for it to be successful. When I was talking to people about this fundraiser, they're like, Zahava, yes, we're going to help you. We're going to we're going to get this goal started. And so I'm feeling the love, I'm feeling the support. I never like to ask people for money. But if somebody does have the means you know, to support, you know, an organization, you know, Chazkeinu is definitely a good address.
Yeah, I'm gonna post the link in my show notes, and I'll post it on my Instagram and my status, and I'll do my best. Um, but I think that nobody really likes asking people for money. But like you said before, I noticed you said unfortunately, like we need money, but really that's the way it is. You know, it's an exchange of energy. Like I know that sounds like lofty, but somebody said that to me once, and I'm like, I think Tippy Gross said that to me once, but she's like a business coach that I worked with. She used to own Have a Tribe. Anyways, it's like I try to reframe that with money, that like money is an exchange of energy for things that align with our values, if that helps you. Because like I'm thinking, even my Meister money, you know, like Chaskin is doing their annual fundraiser. I just benefited so much from the retreat just by being there and by, you know, sharing my story and meeting so many women and like just the support. And that was only like a tiny bit that I gained. So I mean, I gained so much, but I'm saying it was just a tiny bit of time that I was there. So people like are literally like, I can't believe that you have calls 4 days a week, and literally like somebody can get support whenever they need. That's like you said, a therapist is once a week, every other week. Some people can't even afford that. It's expensive. So just this is really like somebody's getting daily support. Like really you can put a price on that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and just yeah, like we're such you know, like obviously the professionals are there, and we encourage everyone to be in active therapy and taking care of themselves through that. But there's really nothing like, you know, like our rabbinic advisor Rabbi Grossberg always says, like Ein Chacham Kabal Nisayon, like there's no one wiser than someone who's went through it themselves. And actually, there's a podcast, you know, with Rev Ephraim Goldberg coming in talking about spotlighting on mental illness, which is so refreshing to get this conversation going and in the world. And they had Dr. Pelkowitz, and Dr. Pelkowitz, who's a leading psychiatrist, knowing so much research about psychology and mental health. And he's like, we have to be there for each other. We have to empathize. We have to be no saying but chavir. We have to hold each other. And I'm like, that's exactly what we're doing. And he was actually in our first promo video, and he
Wow.
talked about how Chazkeinu is about establishing connections. And that's like one of the biggest healings that a person can get when going
Yeah.
through this.
It's amazing. Okay, thank you so much for joining me again. And I will put all that in the show notes. And in Session, you're going to be successful. You're going to raise even more than $200,000, and you're going to have chill houses and retreats and Shabbatons, and everyone's going to get the support that they need. And you're such an inspiration. Thank you so much for coming on again.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Okay, have a good night.